Welcome back, and gardening is more popular than ever. I'm still trying my green thumb at it, but for nearly 100 years, Better Homes and Gardens has been the go-to source for the gardener.
And today we're going to get a sneak peek at the Better Homes and Gardens test garden. It was so awesome. Let's take a look. Nestled in the heart of the bustling downtown of Des Moines, Iowa, is a quiet sanctuary, an urban oasis of meticulously managed plants and flowers. And while it might look like other big city botanical gardens, this garden is unlike any you've ever seen. Established next door to the Meredith corporate headquarters, the Better Homes and Gardens test garden is the size of half a city block, and yet that doesn't seem enough room to contain all the things that are springing to life out of the ground here. The space is alive with the canvas of color, all nestled around the soothing sounds of a lovely fountain. Winding walkways meander from the center courtyard and throughout the space that's in bloom all summer long. And while this may seem like a perfect place to relax, there's actually a lot of important work going on here.
The mission is to take many of the plant varieties a person can grow at home and try to replicate the conditions for our readers in a normal domestic setting. The shade garden that I'm sitting in with all the hostas and ferns, and how you can have so much visual interest in a shade garden. Or we have a water garden with koi and water lilies. We have sunny borders, we have shrubs, we have trees, we have conifers, and it's almost like a living encyclopedia for gardening that we're trying to do here in Des Moines at our headquarters.
And that's what makes the garden so unique. Among the lush landscapes, you're sure to see plants that you might recognize. Some you may even have in your home garden, but others you won't find anywhere but here.
One of the primary functions for Meredith Corporation and also for Better Homes and Gardens is to use the test garden as much as we can. It is a beautiful place that people can visit, but it really is a testing garden and it's an editorial garden. So we use it two ways. Sandra, our head gardener, gets all the different plant introductions from the giant plant companies so that she can test them. So whatever the new, shrubs or perennials are, she gets them every season and she gets to decide what she wants to pick and choose and evaluate.
The garden itself is bursting with 22 distinct planting areas. Every square inch of this garden is dedicated to any situation you could possibly imagine, all artistically arranged in this one space. But don't be green with envy. The test garden is designed to inspire, not intimidate.
I knew it was a white Julia, but I didn't know the variety.
I love gardening, so I'm the kind of person, I've been gardening for a few decades. It's one of my big hobbies along with cooking. And so for me, when I come to the test garden, of course, it's intimidating because it's really pretty large, but also I can understand how the plants grow together, and I can tell that our head gardener, Sandra, has grouped the plants so that they're happy in their location. We try to create the scale not to look like a municipal park or a botanical garden. We want the scale to mimic the domestic setting of someone's home. So we don't want it to be intimidating. And in fact, Better Homes and Gardens, we don't want anything to be intimidating. We're trying to help people do everything a little better in their lives, around their home and their domestic life. So for us, gardening should be something that isn't scary.
Even though it is a working garden, during the summer, the gardens are open to anyone for a couple of hours on Friday afternoons. It's a popular destination for locals and tourists alike.
People plan a year in advance to visit the garden, so we have different garden groups that will come and they'll book a private tour, and they're just very impressed because we're in downtown Des Moines where we have a beautiful park, as I was saying, but before that was here, this was a very mixed-use area of gas stations and vacant lots. So what the test garden has done is really transformed a kind of a disused part of Des Moines 20 years ago and turned it into a real jewel in the crown for Meredith and Better Homes and Gardens.
Well, Stephen Orr, making garden fun for everyone. Better Homes and Gardens is published by the Meredith Corporation, the parent company of KCTV5, which is why we got this exclusive look.
Yeah, and a lot of those plants that you see there serve as cover shoots for the covers of Better Homes and Gardens magazines or any of the number of other Meredith publications or their media sites. So a lot of cool pictures that they pull from there and just a lot of cool plants.
And it seems like a cool place to hang out.
Yeah, that's cool that they offer it that everybody could go around and just take a walk and enjoy the gardens. I mean, kind of like some of the places we have here in Kansas City.
So beautiful.